I don't know about you, but I'm all about a good thrift flip. Take a look at this gorgeous dress, but I knew it wasn't in my size. However, I did have in the back of my mind what I could do with it. Let me show you. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, it's half off blue tag sale. Yay! As soon as I got home, I pulled my old blue jean jacket out of the closet that I haven't worn for years, and wait till you see what I do to it. First, I needed to decide where I was going to put the lace. So here I decided to cut out the back panel, and notice here that I am leaving about, maybe a ½ inch along that seam. That is so that I can either glue or sew the lace onto it. So here I'm going up each side, and then I'm going to cut near the top. And now you got to remember, this will show on your jacket, and over time it will fray. It just takes time, but boy will it be gorgeous once it starts fraying. Now I'm going to use this as a pattern piece. So next I take the dress, and what I want to do is cut up the side seams so that I can lay the dress flat. So here I'm just going straight up the sides. I do this to both side seams. I also cut the seams at the shoulders. Now I'm taking the jean jacket pattern that I cut out from the back of my jacket, and I'm going to lay it on the lace. Here I'm pointing out the bottom of the dress. That's going to be the bottom of my jacket. So I have the pattern piece there, and I'm getting ready to center it on the circles. Now this is what we call fussy cutting or fussy placing right now, just before we cut. And then I'm going to pin it on, and when we go to cut it out, that will be called fussy cutting. And those are just those extra steps that you take to ensure that things are centered when you sew them onto your garment. Before I pin any further, I'm ensuring that the center of that circle is at the center point of my pattern. I'm doing it at the top and the bottom. Once again, I want to ensure that that pattern is going to be centered. Next, with a sharp pair of scissors, it's time to cut the lace. And I left about a ½ inch border all the way around. So now it's time to take those pins out, and this is the piece that we're left with. And next we're going to serge this lace so that it has a nice professional finished look on the outside. Even though it's going to be on the inside of the jacket, we still want it to have a nice finished look. So I take it over to the serger, and I serge all of the raw edges. Now, if you don't have a serger, I would highly encourage you to finish yours with maybe a zigzag stitch, but definitely something to keep your material from fraying. Next, we have options. You can use Heat and Bond Ultra Hold Iron-On adhesive in place of the gluing basting that I'm going to show you next. But this would be permanent, and you don't have to sew. Since I'm going to sew my lace in, I'm going to use a non-permanent method of gluing. I'm going to use Elmer's clear glue that is washable. So at the ironing board, I lay my jacket face down with the wrong side up, and I put my lace on top of the seam there, and then I put a little bit of glue and I iron it down. So I go clear down the side just like this. I'm double checking to make sure I'm doing it right and that the glue's not seeping through. Probably should have done it on a practice piece first, huh? But not me. Anyway, I go down the seam slowly, little bit at a time, and then I take my iron and I just go over the seam. Notice I'm not really ironing too much. I'm more of a light press, and you want to make sure that you have your iron nice and hot, but not too hot because you don't want to scorch your fabric either. Mine's about a 3 out of a 5. So I go clear down the side and glue baste it in. As I get closer to the top, I notice that my lace stretched when I serged it. So on my next pattern pieces, I did a different setting on my sergers so that it wouldn't stretch my lace. But I'd rather have it too long than too short. So I'll fix that at the end once I get it all glued in. So here I'm gonna go, I thought maybe I would go across the top, but then I changed my mind because I thought, I better do the side first. So I went ahead and flipped my jacket around. And the beauty of glue basting in is that I don't have to worry about that lace falling out now, especially if I just pinned it in, because it's on there securely but not permanently. Now, if you wanted to do that stitch witchery permanent bond, you would do it the same way, except you're putting that stitch witchery in here in place of this glue that I'm doing and iron it on. You just follow the directions and then you would be done. But once again, I like to finish mine off with sewing, and I'll show you how to sew it in here in just a minute. So here I'm getting creative and I'm putting pins in the jacket to hold it onto the ironing board. And I left this on here as part of the video to show you that sometimes you just have to be creative to make things work. So now I'm getting ready to glue baste in the other side as well, but I'm going to have to do some more creative pinning to hold it in place so that I can start ironing. Here at the sewing machine, I'm showing you I picked thread color that matches the jean jacket. My stitch length is 2.5, and on my needle, I have it clear to the left, which is a 0, and my bobbin, I have some cream colored thread. So here, I'm showing you that the needle is clear to the left, and sorry about the shakiness here. I'm trying to sew and video at the same time, and I'm just not really that good at it yet, so please forgive me on that one. But here I'm back stitching, and then I slowly go down the edge, and I use the left side of my presser foot there as my guide, and I just go down, and that's the beauty of this glue basting. I don't have to take out any pins along the way. I'm not going to get stuck by accident, but I just sew right along the edge. I also forgot to mention that my needle was a 90-14. Here I'm showing you that by using white or a cream color in my bobbin, you can barely see the stitches. They just blend right in. And here's the front, and if you look closely you can see the blue stitch line there, but I picked the thread that really complemented. And you can already see the jean material starting to fray, but boy, once you wash it, that fraying is going to get prettier and prettier over time, and just be gorgeous. Next, I decided to cut out these front pieces, and I'm going to add lace in these areas. Since these pieces are mirror images, I folded my fabric in half, and I took one of the yokes here and pinned it on, and then I just cut it out like I did the other pattern, leaving a 1/2 inch around the whole pattern piece. By doubling up the lace, I'm showing you here that when I lay it out side by side, right sides up, I have a perfect mirror image. So my circles line up and it's going to match perfectly. Now we're at the serger, and I'm serging around all of the edges again. Now remember I said that the last time my fabric stretched? So this time I'm taking extra caution, and if you will look on the front of my machine there, I have a red N. I put my lever clear to the bottom, and that will ensure that my presser foot has a different pressure on it and it won't stretch the fabric. So it was a perfect fit the next time I go to glue basted it. Back at the ironing board, I'm doing my fancy pinning again so that it doesn't slip off of my ironing board. And now I'm getting ready to glue baste the lace in there, and notice how it didn't stretch this time. It's a little wavy, but better than stretching, but it is a perfect fit. And then I'm going to glue it in exactly like I did before. This time at the sewing machine, I still have a stitch length of a 2.5, but my needle bar is now clear over to the right side. So then you repeat this exact process for the other yoke. Now you're done. Look at this beautiful jacket. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.